Good morning, guys. Price analysis on Bitcoin and the general market, see what's going on. And we've had a little bit of a pullback, haven't we? We've hit $24,194 and a rejection. Absolutely no idea where I've put that line on, but we'll get rid of that. And we've come back down. So what we've done is we've broken out of this this range-bound price action that we've had for a while. We use at equilibrium a few times as support and resistance. We broke out. And we had about a little bit of, well, it's not even FUD. It was news that Tesla had sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings in Q2. So it's not like, oh, they're selling 75% tomorrow, that's it, it's going to drop further. They've already sold that 75%. 25% there for long term, you would presume. But I think with the state of the global economies, especially in the US, with tech stocks and stuff like that dropping significantly, you can imagine price of Tesla's gone down. They had to cover their losses, and Bitcoin was that leverage that they've used. But you could also go against that and say, well, this was just a standard pullback, and I mean, it just happened coincidentally at the same time as that Elon selling the, as Tesla selling that Bitcoin. You could also say it's just a retest of this breakout. So we've had this major nice rise up, which has been nice. Now we're coming back to retest the range highs before we then move on again. That could be the potential scenario. And then we're looking at this level of resistance here at 26k. And then we've still got that big wide open gap up to 28,500, which I still think is something that could happen. A lot of people are just seeming to try and guess where the bottom is. I mean, is it the bottom? Is it not? It's hard to say. I saw Capo post something yesterday, not the Capo which everybody's talking about, the other Capo, Luciano one. He did quite a good point actually, about saying that we've had Celsius liquidated, 3AC liquidated, Tesla selling 75% of the Bitcoin. We've had the Luna crash. This has been billions and billions of dollars wiped out of the market, and people still don't seem to think that's capitalization. I mean, for me it could be. If the average price, I think they sold at a loss, Tesla, didn't they? And their selling price was around 29k, 28, 27, around that region. So they sold at a slight loss. That from 29k, remember it. Look what happened around here. This is 29.30k, and look, bang, that's when Tesla probably sold 75% Bitcoin back down this range-bound price action. So there wasn't too much liquidity anyway. There wasn't a hell of a lot of buying. We was just being held up by retail potentially, thinking that's a bottom. And then we have Tesla dump it all, and then we're back into this area now where Tesla stopped buying. 3AC have been liquidated, Celsius been liquidated, all that malarkey. Is this the point where we do start to push up? I do not know. There still could be other things that come out of nowhere and happen. There could be some major minor capitalization which pulls us down further, and a lot of people are expecting sub lows here. So people are expecting below that. I think 15, 16 I've seen, and I've seen the 10k prediction that people are talking about due to that 85% drop on the markets, which has happened twice in history. What if that doesn't happen? I mean, for me personally, I always run a strategy where I'm holding stables, I'm holding altcoins, I'm holding, actually throughout this dip, I've held quite a few low caps which have held up fairly reasonably. And then obviously I've started now to DCA in some projects. I do know the fact that the markets can drop significantly, but I'm willing to take that risk. And if I'm buying projects which I fundamentally think are sound, then it is what it is. If it goes underwater for a period of time, I'm covered by that stable holdings that I use or keep on the side. So for me, I have started to DCA. I bought some Metis around here, around $19. I've took out my initial now. So I put $5,000 in. Now $4,000, sorry, I put $4,000 in. I bought 200 Metis, and then I took out my $4,000, and I've got around 79 Metis left, which is free crypto really. So pull that stables back out, and then if the price does drop any further, I'll probably look at buying. I think this looks a decent level down here, around 24. But it could swing either way, and we could start pushing up and breaking through here. I did actually have some sell orders here, but I saw the market tumbling. I sold most of them around 33. But like I say, I've still got that foot in the market, and that is free crypto. So for me, I can do it once. It can go down, and that's the same for Bitcoin. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin now, and you're worried about it going down, don't buy. If you're not bothered about a price fluctuating, whether that's up or down in the positive or a negative, then buy up. I mean, start buying. I think for me, it's a good time to buy. I do know the price can come lower, but I'm willing to wait out, because ultimately, Bitcoin will rise. Ultimately, crypto will rise, and those gains will come back. But at some stage, if you, especially as a long-term investor, you've got to be prepared to be in the negative for a little bit of time. So that's my thoughts on the market, really, and what I'm doing. I am buying. I'm not going balls deep, but I'm just starting to buy some projects I like. And you could say I got lucky with Metis for that rise, but I think it's a solid project, and people are starting to buy it up. I've also got a position in VeChain, around 200,000 VeChain. It's not a significant amount of money, it's around 3 or 4 grand, but that's for a long-term investment too. What else have I got? I've got my Polkadot. I've been staking Polkadot for about a year and a half now, so I don't care about the price of that. That's a long-term hold as well. I think I've got currently around 1,200 DOT, so that's something that I'm just going to be topping up when I can. But then again, it's quite lucrative, that staking rewards. I think it's around 14-15%, so about over a few years, you're going to build up nicely, especially when the price does rebound up to some decent levels. Let's have a quick look at, actually, just before we finish there, this is potentially a retest of that range-bound price action. If we don't bounce them in, we drop through, then it could be a nice time to short it down to around 20k, and then obviously we've got this 17k region down here again, which we've not really tested yet. We've been down, we've come down towards 18k, we didn't quite make it there, and then we bounced back up. So let's keep his eyes on this, and hopefully we can keep the price action above this higher range here, and then target 26 and 28k. I think if we start zooming out and have a look at any type of positive price action, I think I might have done it on this chart here. Yeah, so look, this is what I was saying. Look, 28k is a decent region because it's major support in the past, back in 21 here in June, major support level before Elon dumped us, and then this is the downtrend here. Multiple taps here back in March 22. That's our highs up there. And then it would be a nice region to re-tap that. I think if we broke out of that, you could potentially look at something like this, a breakout, maybe retested those levels at 34k, a breakdown, and then maybe potentially something like that. That's something that could potentially happen in a bullish scenario. Otherwise, we come up here, we reject again, and then we go back down to test these lows, and then we come up and test this trend line several times before eventually we break out, whether that's this year, next year, or who knows. At some point we will break out of that downtrend, and then it'll be time for that bullish scenario to happen again, and a little bit of positive attitude coming into the markets, because it's been a brutal and dull last 8 months in crypto. But if you're still around, you're still watching this content, hopefully we can all make some decent money together over the course of the next few years. But that's it, that's my thoughts today. If you're new to this channel, please make sure that you are subscribed, hit that like button. Oh, and I think the microphone is sorted now. Fuck knows what went on with that, but it's been shit for about 2 weeks, but I think it's fixed now. That's it, catch you later.